hold it.
Edit.
Oh,
Go.
hi.
Hey.
It's after dark. We're rambling after dark.
Ramble
Lope
after
gets hard.
dark.
We're doing it after dark. Lope gets hard. It's I'm Jerry Rocha, right over there.
Eddie Pence.
There it is. There it is.
Right here.
And we think next week we might finally get alt-right Cody back.
The return of alt-right
The
Cody.
return might happen next week. This week, look, it's
A lot of bad news yesterday.
a lot of bad news yesterday. Although, can we applaud Cody for, in the midst of all this bad news, he's still, would you consider him in playoff form with that Charlie Kirk tirade on how women are no longer, they're out of their prime when they're in their 30s?
When they're in their 30s and how birth control makes you crazy. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good. I mean,
first of all, that's a Cody Villafana masterpiece. Second,
right.
that has to be so devastating to women to hear that from such an Adonis like Charlie
I know.
Kirk.
Just to know once the clock strikes midnight on your 29th birthday, on your
Charlie Kirk's done with you.
29th day, year of being alive, and you're getting ready to turn 30,
Charlie Kirk's done with you.
you can't be anywhere near Charlie Kirk.
And
You
how
can't
many
get any of
women
that.
are just want that? Just he's so good looking.
Yeah.
B, that body chiseled
Tremendous.
from granite.
Tremendous.
I just don't see how any.
I mean, to
woman-
have that much head and so
Head.
little face
Oh,
is just, it's just,
That's our title, Eddie. To have that much head and so little face. That's the title. To have that much head and so
Charlie
little
Kirk
face.
has so much head and so little face. It's just,
How? And what did he do? I don't understand why anyone listens to him for anything. Like, well, we're gonna take it to this guy. Like, what's he fucking like? Why do I give a fuck what this guy has to say about anything? Where do his talents
why do you give a
lie?
fuck about what any of those fucking guys
Yeah,
say? I don't
what is
understand.
Charlie Kirk? What has he given us to go?
Fucking
I'll
Ben,
listen.
What's Ben Shapiro do
What's
other
Ben
than
Shapiro ever done?
live off his wife being a fucking lawyer and a doctor or whatever she is?
Fucking Charlie Kirk with that fucking head. Talking about whip tits, get the fuck out of here with your
Dude.
fucking nasty ass. Ain't nobody trying to fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Ain't nobody give a fuck what you think about it. It's always the fucking ugliest dudes who think they're alphas and try to, here's what women.
Well, did you see that thing that came out about Rittenhouse about how he couldn't even get in the Marines because the test is like
He was too ugly.
borderline mentally challenged
Wow.
when it came to the testing. Like
The
you
Marines.
have to score like the low score is like a 10.
Okay.
Like everyone, like to get in it, you score like a 30. I think is like
Sure.
the average where people get in.
Right.
Like to be like considered like, oh my God, you're a moron. It's like 10, and he got below 10.
Oh God. So he didn't make it. He's not a Marine. He won't be.
So
a
he
Marine.
couldn't get into the Marines or the FBI or whatever the fuck he was trying to do.
But let's go pay him to speak at colleges. That's that's even better then. That's wow. So again, to sum up, Cody's got a lot on his plate. He's got a lot on his plate, Cody, right now.
You know, he's spinning his webs. No one stops him. 24/7.
20. Who could? Who
Can't
could?
keep him down.
We certainly can't.
No.
We tried. Now I don't know, Eddie, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you can subscribe to the Ramble. You can give it a 5-star rating and a positive text review.
Sure. I've heard.
You can also email us, ramble@theramblepod.com, Twitter at podcastramble1, Instagram at podcastramble, YouTube, The Ramble Teeb. We have our merch page, T Public. One day we'll get, alt-right Cody will get us a better one. One day.
Yeah,
One
well,
day.
it's supposed to be. I guess it's under construction still. So
Under
we'll see.
construction. Now, so I have good news and bad news. We'll do the bad news first.
Oh, sure. I always
We've
like
somehow
that first.
plummeted to 142 5-star.
Okay, so somebody
ratings.
walked on us. Somebody
Somebody
Okay.
bailed. Somebody bailed.
All right.
Now, hold on. What's today's date, Eddie?
Today it would be the April 5th,
April
I
5th.
believe. Friday, April 5th.
It's Friday, April 5th. So
Right, I believe. Yeah.
what was okay? So then, Zach Dahlem got the strap February 17th, 2024. It has been taken April 3rd, 2024. Brock 626 is back. Ramble towards enlightenment.
Wow.
The podcast that could save the world, if not the multiverse itself, exists among us here in real time. And every person that does not listen is ignoring a gift of endless, warm, healing light. Thank you, Brock. You're not wrong.
Well, I don't mind.
wrong.
I don't mind Brock getting the strap if he's gonna take it and carry it that way.
What a way to
carry
get
it
the
in
strap.
that form.
What a way to get the strap.
And let's all give a little, hats off to
Zach Dahlem.
Zach Dahlem for
Zach
what a
Dahlem
run.
What a run.
What a run.
It,
I mean, forever it's going to be known as a Dahlem run.
It's a Dahlem run.
Let's see if Brock can go on a Dahlem.
I hope not. No offense to Brock. I hope not. I hope it gets
I hope not too,
surpassed.
but yeah.
So
We didn't want the Dahlem to happen, but it did.
We didn't want it, and we embraced it. Did we get mad?
We embraced it.
No, we gave credit where credit was due. Now, holy shit. Woo! X-Men 97.
Ooh. We're 4 episodes in, right? And it feels like we've covered nearly every major X-Men character besides Apocalypse has been in this fucking show.
Like, what's left?
Everything. I can't name. I'm trying to think of an X-Men character that I have not seen.
It's unbelievable with it. It's so good, and it's moving so fast, and yet I don't feel rushed. I'm like, oh, they're doing a great job of now. I'm bummed. I didn't know this, but apparently the showrunner, the guy behind all this shit, got fired like a week before the season came out.
Yeah, he did first 2
So
seasons.
it's like,
He's
well,
gone.
what the fuck, Jesus? But
usually, I mean, I don't know what's happened yet, but for someone to say they've been fired, that's usually some shit went down, some shady shit went down. It's usually if it's not terrible, it's like we've had a part in the ways or he's left the project.
Right.
But to say he's been fired,
right.
That's like you're
entering
getting into like
Cypress Hill. When the shit goes down, you better be ready.
We'll withhold judgment and see what
down.
happened.
Yeah.
But something seemed like he may have done something pretty bad for them to announce he's been fired.
He's been fired. But Jesus, it's so good. The Jubilee and Sunspot in the Mojo
Dude,
verse.
like when I started watching episode 1.
Yes.
I didn't think by episode 4 we would be in Mojo Land.
And it worked. And it didn't feel weird or like
rushed.
Fuck. Yet they just jump us into Mojo Land right off the bat. 4 episodes.
Watching episode 1, and oh my God, Jean Grey's pregnant. And episode 2, Magneto's taking over the X-Men.
Storm's lost her powers.
Episode 3, okay, now we got the other Storm and Mr. Sinister's there, and then Nathan Summers is going back into the future.
And gone to the future with Bishop. Then we have Storm,
and then now we're in Mojo
Forge.
Land.
Now we're in Mojo Land, and
I'm not dizzy at all.
No,
I'm not dizzy at all.
Back to Storm and Forge, and we have the adversary, the creation of Forge, that is, oh my, it's just, Forge has got a lot of cleaning up to do.
Yeah, he made a little mess.
Forge
he made a little mess.
On a bit of an apology tour here.
Yeah,
I think
he made a little mess. I think
but
he made a little mess,
dude. I'm loving all of this. I want more.
It's fucking spectacular. Just the list of cameos alone that either Morph has done or flashbacks have done.
And yes, it's just like even if it's just Morph doing it, it's great. But the
Mojo Archangel, seen the Blob twice,
and talk about the fucking deep cut of bringing in the old Jubilee Mojoverse character who was like in 2 comic books fucking ever, and to make her like the hero of that particular story. It's just been
so good. So good, man. I was not expecting Mojo in episode 4. Like how do we go from where we were in 4 half-hour episodes
and
to get
we're
to
at Mojo. Mojo is the deepest of deep cuts, isn't he?
Yeah. Like for me as an X-Men fan growing up as a kid with the comic books, Mojo was at the tail end of me ever reading the X-Men comics.
Absolutely. Like
that came at the way end of me reading X-Men comics.
Like that was, I think it was in the 85 is when he first, because that's when Longshot, I think.
Yeah.
First,
but even then, I wasn't like, I was reading classic X-Men. I wasn't even into the Mojo thing.
Now, here's my question. Are Longshot and Domino, they have the same powers, don't they?
I think so.
They both just kind of make
luck
work for them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm thinking, if you're... Okay, look, all you would really need for like a starting 5 with the X-Men is just Professor X as your coach and GM.
Yeah.
Because he just makes the other team think the basket is just 2 feet to the left of where it really is.
You could literally just have 5 mannequins wearing X-Men clothes.
Right.
And as long as you got Professor X on the sideline.
You would need one person to score one basket for you.
I think Professor X could just put that ball in the hoop with his mind.
Or make the other team score accidentally for him. Would he not be the greatest GM? Like, you could basically get for Professor X, it's like, okay, I'll give you Shaq and Kobe for Sean Bradley right now. Like, if he was a GM, he just does that. Like, here. All right.
You would literally, if he was your GM, he would trade away first-round picks and just recoup nothing but seventh-round picks and then just draft Mr. Irrelevance. And you'd have a salary cap that was in the low hundreds of dollars. And you would just win every championship.
And you still win because the other team, he just makes them think that they're fucking that the sideline is actually 5 yards longer than it is. So they're out of bounds on every play.
Yeah, they think it makes them think the end zone is 5 yards deeper than it is, and they catch the ball and they think they score and they spike it. And it's a fumble.
It's a fumble. It would be amazing. That's all you need. Just one Professor X as a GM/coach.
And throw anybody out there. It doesn't matter.
And Jerry Jones would still fire him. That's the hard part.
Well, because Professor X would get the credit.
He get the credit.
He get the credit.
Jerry Jones.
And Jerry Jones can't have that.
He would fire Professor X. That's how big of a piece of shit he is. He'd win 9 Super Bowls in a row and then fire him before the 10th one.
Right. No. Because everyone's saying how great Professor X is.
Right. What a brilliant coach and GM.
I want that glory hole.
It's weird how so many teams just make such horrendous mistakes when they play Professor X. And he just has his team ready to capitalize on those mistakes. Oh, fuck. Yeah, but this X-Men 97, dude.
It is. Wow. Have you been watching The Bad Batch, season 3?
Not a second yet. I gotta get on it. How good is it?
It's getting dark.
Really?
It's getting dark.
So is Omega still a little kid?
Yeah, she goes into this. They have her at the cloning facility, so they're kind of imprison her and Crosshair at the end at the beginning, because Crosshair at the end of season 2 kind of turns back against the Empire, and so he's locked up with Omega.
Sniper.
He's the sniper.
Yeah.
So he's locked up with Omega, and they do like a little time forward sequence where it's like about a year, 8 months or 9 months. So Omega gets a little bit older. Right. But it's like we're now in episode 5, I think, or 6, and it's like it's showing where they're doing a lot of. It's really based around Operation Necromancer, where it's the resurrection of trying to use. They have the clone blood, and they have blood with a high midichlorian count they have from Jedis.
Right. Okay.
Right, and they're trying to find. You can't clone Jedi blood. You can't clone midichlorians. So they're trying to find a host, a clone's blood that can host midichlorians, so they can replicate it that way. Because Emperor's trying to clone himself, basically.
So Kabath is out the window then.
I think, unless they figure a way to put him in, maybe Kabath is like a sort of Snoke character.
Right.
Maybe at some point you could do that. Yeah. But right now you're seeing the early stages of the Emperor trying to clone, and it's cool because there's a scene in this last episode where there's a guy in charge of the necromancer thing in the cloning facility, and Tarkin holograms in, and he's like, "Your operation's costing a lot of money. What are the results of this?" He's questioning, and the guy goes, "That's classified." Like even Tarkin doesn't know what's going on.
This is over GMT's head.
This is over. Yeah, GMT has no fucking idea what's happening. This is between the Emperor and this dude. So you're seeing these they have like these 3 captured little Force-sensitive young kids, and they're running experiments on them and trying to see if they can clone their blood with a clone. And Omega is the key because her clone blood takes the M count. Yeah. So that's why the Empire's after her.
So right now, what are we, 10 years before New Hope?
We're about, I think we're about like maybe 15. This takes place a couple years, I think, because they did a time jump. Because the Bad Batch starts right after the Clone Wars ends.
Yeah.
And now I think we're maybe like a year or two past that. So we're still like 15, 16 years away from A New Hope.
So Luke is a newborn still.
Yeah, Luke's still a newborn. This is probably like 5 or 6 years before the Kenobi series.
Wow. Okay. All right. And do you know is this
like,
going to be the end of it this season, or do we know?
Yeah, they've already said this is the last season. And we know because Emperor does get cloned that they do at some point. They must get Omega's blood.
It has to work.
And they've already killed off one of the Bad Batch guys last season. So
right.
I don't know, it's getting dark. It's a dark show.
Jesus.
It's interesting.
Ooh, that's fucking.
It's interesting.
Omega gets captured, and then her cellmates, Jared from Subway, they're like, "Oh Jesus, we're taking.
We need to make some more clones. Jared, get in there.
This is getting dark.
Jared's force sensitive. Let's see what happens.
It's fucking getting dark. Fucking hell. That's why. Look. Enough with who cares that he lost 900 pounds eating fucking Subway. Maybe do a deep dive on the hard drive before you hand him the keys to the kingdom.
Maybe a little background check on the guy.
Just a couple, 1 or 2, 3.
You don't think it's suspicious that he lost 900 pounds eating Subway subs and walking 20 miles every day? Like, what was he doing the rest of the time?
Look how many middle schools were between his house and
like just
how
little
many
background
junior
check.
highs were on the way. How many
Ask a couple.
highs did he stop us?
Ask the neighbors. I don't know. Just see.
A couple of them. They might have a story. She's only 16 years old. Leave her alone, they said.
Jared would like that song because she's too old in that song.
She's like, oh, I can't do it.
Leave her alone. She's too old.
Do you think that? I wonder, like the outtakes for Into the Night. Like the rough draft, was it like, she's in a vegetative state? I keep... No, it doesn't work. Let's
leave her alone.
Well, that's too much. Let's see if we can...
The roofie worked.
Oh, God. Well, what a ramble. We covered Star Wars, X-Men.
X-Men 97. Get on that shit.
Oh, God, it's so good. And yet the bad news. Contractual.
Skeletor.
Here we go.
We've been saying what fans we are of the new X-Men 97 episodes, which we were not expecting. We weren't expecting this because X-Men was great back in this day, but we weren't expecting this to be what it was. Right. Have you ever been blown away by something that you weren't expecting?
Looks like somebody's a little busy. Can I let you guys in on a practical joke? Yeah, I guess. He's not sucking on either one of my cocks, but a really hard turd of mine. Why do we do this after dark?
I hate After Darks. I
really don't.
After Dark.
I don't like it.
He-Man's mother's got a big pussy.
Okay.
Cinesnob Cody.
Let's get him on Rotten Tomatoes.
Please. Jesus Christ.
Patreon.com, The Ralph Report. You can find it there 5 days a week.
There it is.
Ramble Radio, Tuesdays, Fridays. Ramble Proper on Wednesdays. You check out my other podcast with Jen Sturger called Not Today. Wherever you get your podcasts, we drop a new one every Friday.
Every Friday. Go do that
every
good
Friday.
shit.
There we go.
Come on, y'all. You know where to find me. Same Ramble locales. You can find Cody and Eddie. Also streaming Kick and Twitch at Retro Rocha. My name on YouTube, Retro Games. Hey, I'm not saying we knock Brock 626 off. I'm just saying let's add to those 5-star ratings. Let's add to those positive text reviews. Let's add to those subscriptions. We're the world's podcast, for crying out loud.
We're the top 40 ranked nerd podcast.
Ranked all-time nerd pod on Good Pods. Like, come on. Enjoy. We love you all. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. We will see you next week for more rambling goodness. Until then, take care, everybody.